guys, it's Amy with A2ZStamping.com, and today I wanted to talk about the Starlight Thinlits dies. And I thought we'd look at how they work and how you use them. So whenever I see new framelits or thinlits in the catalog, a lot of times I'm on the fence, or it takes me a while because I want to actually see how they work before I decide to jump in and buy them. This set is really cool though. So here's what they look like. There are 7 dies in this set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is these 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. This one's all on its own. These 3 would be framelits, so they frame something, and then these ones are thinlits. Okay, so let me show you. So these 3 that are framelits, they will coordinate, and this set coordinates with the Star of Light stamp set, which you guys know is one of my most favorite stamp sets of all time. I love this swirl. These are actually, the images are smaller than they are. Here they are. Well, I'll show you this way. They're actually quite large. So this framelit right here, this big giant star, it does coordinate with this big star right here. Let me see. I'll show you on the front. It coordinates with this. So it cuts this out perfectly, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if you were to stamp that image, then you could cut it out, and it looks like this. See that? Pretty, right? Okay. Then these 2 smaller ones right here, they do technically coordinate with this star right here, and which other star? And this star right here, which, like I said, they're much bigger in real life. And so you can stamp and cut those out, and here I've done that right here. I just stamped in some Dapper Denim ink. So that's what that would look like. Or you can also just use these framelits just to cut out paper. It's really cool. Like if you use glimmer paper or something like that, or any color paper. So if you wanted to just cut out these shapes, you can do that too. So you don't have to stamp the image first, but that is one option. And then finally, this framelit right here also works with this one right here, and I'll show you in a minute how that goes. But I first wanted to show you these other 3, or yes, these other 3. Okay, so this one right here is really cool. This one cuts out, and you can tell because it's raised around the edges. So this one cuts out the star, and that would be this right here. I just cut out some Dapper Denim cardstock, but can you see there's an embossed star in the center? Can you see that? It's really cool. So this one is neat to do if you just want a solid. Plus, you could put like, sorry about that, my phone rang. Okay, so you could put like a rhinestone or something in the middle, and it's really cool. So that's this one right here, and you can tell which one that is because this one, you can see it has the starburst in the middle. Now this one right here, it's also raised around the edges, so we know it's going to cut it out, but this is a pretty intricate thinlit. And when you do this one, you get this. Isn't that awesome? Let me see if I can put it over. Do I have a piece of white paper around here? I must. Let me grab a piece of white paper. Okay. Sorry, guys, but I don't think you can see it very well. Here we go. So that cuts out that. Isn't that neat? This looks amazing on glimmer paper, but it also looks cool in real life. So you see that? That's what that one cuts out. Okay, so that's this guy right here. Here's this one. And then finally we have this one. Now this, you can see it's got some Dapper Denim still in there. This one, it's not raised around the edges, so that's one way to tell this is not going to cut the image out, but it is going to leave some sort of an impression. And let me show you what that does. It looks like this when it's all cut out. And this is really cool. Put it over the way. This is really cool. Like if you want to set it right in the center of a card, you could center it perfectly and get that on there. But if you wanted to cut this out, you can. And let me show you how. So this thinlit set, they recommend that you use the precision base plate. That's right here. So you want your standard cutting plates, your thin die adapter, the precision base plate. Whenever you have thinlits with really intricate cuts like these, the precision base plate really helps with that. I find that the precision base plate will warp your framelits a little bit, which is totally fine. That doesn't ruin them. You can see this one's starting to warp a little bit. It doesn't ruin them. So when I'm doing framelits, so I'm framing something, I like to just use my I like to use the magnetic platform, and I'll show you that in a second. But for these intricate cuts, I like to use the precision base plate. So I'm going to do this one again. let me grab a piece here. Actually, I'm going to grab a new piece. Let's see. Oh, well, this might fit. It does. Okay. So you just lay your paper on here right onto the precision base plate, and I'm going to put that down right there. Cutting plate on top, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot. Okay. All right, just one time through the Big Shot. All right, pull it out. Now, a lot of times with these, they're going to be stuck in there really good. So I recommend anytime you're using a Thinlit is our die brush. So it looks like this. It might look a little bit different than this because I think they just came out with a brand new one. It comes with the foam mat, and you lay it down and you just run this over. And it will poke out all of those little holes and everything so that this will pop right off, right? But see how there's still a bunch of the little holes in there? So you just run this over. It doesn't hurt your paper at all, and it gets all of those little pieces out. Now, if you don't have the die brush, you can use a paper piercing tool, something like this, and you can just, you know, go through and poke everything out. I just find that that takes a ton of time, so I like the die brush. Okay, so now here we have this again, and I'm going to change out this. I'm going to take this away, and I'm going to now put my magnetic platform on, because now I want to cut this out, so I need a bottom plate. And I'm going to cut this out with this framelit. So it looks like it goes this way. So I line it up on here. Yep, I was worried about that. My paper is a little bit too small, but I think you guys are going to get the idea. Okay, so the thing I like about the magnetic platform is my die will stick right to it. Okay, and this isn't going to be perfect, you guys, because I'm trying to rush here for the video, but you put your top plate on, run it through. That crackling sound is perfectly normal. Okay, and what you end up with is this guy right here. Isn't that awesome? So cool. So that's how those two work together. Now, I just wanted to show you really quick a really intricate one like this. Okay, so I'm going to put the precision plate on again. Okay. Remember, when you're using the precision plate, you have your standard cutting pad, your thin die adapter, and your precision plate. No bottom cutting mat. Then you put your paper. I'm going to put this one. I'm going to do it right here. Okay. And then you just need a top plate. All right. So I'm going to run this through. Oh my gosh, my allergies are killing me. Okay. Sorry for all the sniffling. All right, run that through. Okay, so I pull this out. Now this one is nice and stuck on there because there's a lot of intricate cuts. Okay, so again, I'll grab my foam pad and lay this on here, and I'm going to show you. So I run this over, run it over, run it over, just until I can pop this off. Okay, so it popped off, but see, the paper's still stuck in there. Lay it flat on there and just run this over. I promise it is not hurting it a bit. Run it over, and I can see the Dapper Denim paper through these little tiny holes. See how it's got little tiny, I can see where I need to run my die brush. Okay, and eventually it should pop right out. It's still stuck in there pretty good, so I'm gonna, okay. All right. And I can pop it out. Looks like this side is still stuck in there pretty good. Okay. And then once I've popped it all out, if I still have a few pieces in there, again, I can really just do this, and I promise it's not hurting my thing at all. Now, I'm not pushing on it so hard that I'm going to tear it, but I get it in there. Now, it looks like I have one tiny little piece that hasn't popped out yet, and I'm just going to pull that out with my hand. And look at that. Perfect. Again. Done. So that's why this tool, anytime you're getting any kind of Thinlits, I definitely recommend you get this tool with it. All right, so I think that's it. I've shown you how to use the Starlight Thinlits dies. The last thing I have to tell you is, let me get all these back on here. So I do store the dies. When you get them, they'll come in a packet. Let me see, like this. They come in something like this, and you can store them in that. That's perfectly fine. They're actually glued down, and that's a good way. But I like to store my Thinlits in with the stamp set that they coordinate with. So I keep my Thinlits right here inside of this stamp set. And since I do that, I needed them to fit inside the case. So I just use these magnet sheets. And since they are metal, obviously they magnetic right down. So it's a good way for me to keep track of them. Okay. Now the last thing I want to show you is, I just really quick wanted to give you the dimensions. So this big framelit right here ends up being 2 15/16 by 3.5. So it's pretty good size. It makes something really cool, like if you're looking for something to go right on the front of a card or on a scrapbook page or something like that. This guy right here is the same size, 2 15/16 by 3.5. So that was this one again that did the embossing. Okay. This one right here that cuts out this pretty one right here. This one again, same size, 2 15/16 by 3.5. So these three are the same size. This one right here that doesn't cut it out but does this. This is 2 15/16. So it's the same. It's the same width, but the length is a little bit shorter. It's 2 11/16, and that's so that it'll fit perfectly if you want to cut it out with this. Then this little tiny guy is 5/8. This little one is 3/4 of an inch, and I think, oh, this little star right here, 1 7/8 by 2 1/16. So, and that cuts out this one. So anyway, I hope you consider the Star of Light Thinlits. You can get them on my shopping page, A2Z Stamping at stampinup.net. And it's a really cool Thinlit set to have, whether you have the stamp set or not, because seriously, you guys, how cool is that? And again, if you have this, try it on glimmer paper, especially gold glimmer paper or silver glimmer paper. It's amazing. So anyway, thanks for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and check me out at A2ZStamping.com. Thanks, guys. Bye.